Hey y'all, it's Jesse. This is Unfiltered Curiosity. Today I have Ezra here with me. Ezra, let's just kind of start with when and where did you realize you were trans? Was it something you always felt?
Well, I researched it. Like, I knew that something was different when I was a kid, and I didn't do the whole normal things that girls do. And I kind of just went through my life. I thought maybe because I liked girls instead of guys, so I thought maybe more I was just a lesbian or something like that. It took me until like I don't know, I was like 35 to figure out what I was. I had to research it, and I thought I was gender fluid for a while, and then I finally just figured out, okay, yeah, I'm trans because the whole my brain doesn't match my body kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. That's a big thing that if it doesn't match, it just doesn't match. With gender fluid, I'm not very, I guess, fluid with that terminology. Can you help explain that for me and anybody that doesn't know what that is?
Yeah, I mean, gender fluid is like you go in and out of each gender. Like, some days I felt more like a guy, so I would dress like one or act like one, and then other days I felt like I should act like a girl, so I would
Okay.
dress up.
So, what made you think, hey, I'm actually trans versus being gender fluid? Do you still have those days where you wake up and you feel more maybe on the feminine side?
No, actually, I feel so comfortable in my body that I feel this is the person that I'm supposed to be. I dress the way that I like to dress finally, and I'm completely secure in my body now. Of yes, I'm a man. This is exactly who and what I want to be.
Was there a turning point for you? Was there anywhere that you just something clicked and you're like, nope, I'm trans, I'm not gender fluid?
That's the whole part when I started researching it of like what it actually meant to
Okay.
be transgender versus gender fluid. I thought I was gender fluid just because I thought I was supposed to be more like a girl.
Okay, that's fair. I get that. I mean, because I feel like we all, well, maybe not all of us, I can't speak for all of us, but I too came out as lesbian first and then trans. And so I feel that's a common first step, at least when, maybe not now, but prior to, I guess, the trans movement. I don't like using that terminology because I feel it makes it a big push on trans, but just when people started feeling more comfortable to come out as trans, I felt before that time it seemed like, okay, well, lesbian's the right way to go.
That's kind of how the culture went. Is you're not trans, you just like girls.
Yeah, I didn't even know what trans was. I think until somebody, there was a kid a year above me at a different school, but somewhat close. And I'd only found out about him because of social media. And so then I was like, oh, well, what's that? And then you look it up and start seeing all the YouTube videos of
Yeah,
people's journeys. I ended up coming out with my mom with one of those videos.
no, yeah, I watch those videos too. I get it.
Did you have any family backing? Because correct me if I'm wrong, you were out as lesbian for quite a while before you came out as trans, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't. I kept it kind of low key secret. Like, if I was dating a girl, it was basically we were just roommates or we were just close friends. So people didn't know exactly what was going on, and it
Okay.
kind of made me feel I was like stuck in the closet where the other person didn't want people to know either. I felt more like a secret than anything else.
I can imagine living like that. That sounds horrible. I try to put myself in like the shoes of others, and I mean that just seems wild to me. Just because I'm so much of this is who I am, I'm not gonna hide it. Even when
Yeah,
I was younger, I was much more that way. I'm more understanding, I think, now of people's feelings. But when I was younger, I was just, this is who I am. You don't like it, go away.
well, you can still have that point of view because you have to be safe in your own self of being confident to tell people, yeah, this is who I am, without going over boundaries and stepping on other people and then trying to make them see you the way that you are because everyone else is going to have their own opinions about
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You said something that brought up a question. When I tell people that I'm trans, I hate having that conversation. Don't know what it is about it. It's not that I'm afraid of who I am or whatever. It's just a weird conversation to have. What
Right.
is that like for you? Can you have that conversation with anybody, or is that a fearful conversation that you have too?
Well, I feel pretty secure in myself now that I don't feel the need that I have to have those conversations because one is I pass really well. So people, if I tell someone because I feel comfortable enough to tell them, they're always like, "Whoa, I never would have guessed that." No way that you are because of how
Yeah,
well I pass. And it's sad to because some people don't pass very well and they have to have those conversations and explain themselves
yeah.
where they feel they have to. But I feel like I don't at this point, and I feel like I don't have to share that because that's not being trans is like, yeah, it's a part of me, but it's not my whole story, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And I think
Like,
that's kind of where like you and I kind of clicked. I know we clicked right at the beginning of your journey and we haven't t talked in a minute.
yeah, it's been a minute.
But we were both very much that way of like, yeah, this is who I am, but I don't need to have the whole spotlight of me on that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like if you're hetero, you don't walk around and be like, "Yeah, I'm straight,"
Right.
or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they don't have to explain, so why should we have to explain ourselves?
exactly. I think I have that same outlook. I struggle with having to tell people that I'm trans just because I have such bad scarring.
Oh yeah,
I just scar really bad. That's just, I mean, for any of the surgeries I've had, I just have pretty gnarly scars.
yeah,
And so my top surgery, if anybody's gonna be seeing me without a shirt, I'm like, hey, I should probably tell you, you know. Uh,
yeah. No, I get that.
I just don't like to see people's reaction. I would hate to be in that situation and see their reaction and be like, and see them be uncomfortable, versus I'd rather them just find out ahead of time.
Yeah,
So
no, I get that. For me, it was in the very beginning after I had top surgery. It was very scary because I didn't want people to see the scars or ask what they are or wonder, and so I felt I had to explain them in the very beginning. But now my wife's family is so accepting of me. They have a pool, so I just go out and play in their pool. If they don't mention my scars, they never have. They just see me as me. So it's like, yeah, the scars are there, but it's not something that needs to be a main focus or something that I
right.
have to explain to people.
Yeah, that's fair. Does your wife's family know you're trans? Like, did you have to have that kind of coming out with them, or were they just more the accepting family that you just kind of showed up and you are who you are? They don't really care.
Well, my wife told her mom, which is okay with me. Specific people, because like most of the time you don't want people to out you, but some people are okay. She's a trusting person. She's my mom, so as well. And
Yeah,
then she told our daughter as well, and it's just when you tell secure people that in your safe space kind of area that you know that they're not going to react in some scary way, that you feel safe, and so for them, I didn't mind it being, but I've been outed before. I don't know how many times, and it's like I gotta figure out how to. Okay, now I have to explain things because they just put me in a corner kind of situation.
yeah. See, I've never been put, I guess, in a corner, like you said, with being outed. Or maybe it didn't catch me off guard. I don't know. I recently dealt with a situation at a job I was working at. I had told the coworker, because I'll normally let at least one or two of my coworkers know just in case there's something medical, they can't get a hold of my emergency contact.
Yeah.
Just for those cases. Later, she hardcore started discriminating against me for that, but she never
Mm-hmm.
verbally told anybody that. And so it's hard to prove that, you know? Had never dealt with that in my entire life. I've always had people that they were just, if they didn't like it, they quite literally went off and did something else. Just, we didn't hang out, we didn't talk, it was whatever. So that was definitely kind of new. And then obviously that outed me to pretty much my entire company or anybody who knew about the situation. So that was wild, but I hate having that conversation of, oh, hey, I'm trans,
Yeah.
because I don't want to see
Yeah.
their reactions. If
You
it's
never
a
know what
good
they're gonna react
reaction,
to.
cool,
Yeah.
whatever. If it's a bad reaction, I don't want to be there for it.
Well, I got outed at my work because I work with foster children,
Okay.
and I told one coworker, and I ended up finding out that she went around and told everybody else in the office, and I was just like kind of blown away a little bit because it's not like I get
Yeah.
it, it's personal, but it's like if you trust someone to tell them because there was a reason why I told her, it came up in conversation, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll just share this with her, trusting her, and
Yeah.
then she just goes around and tells everybody else.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I mean, and I could see that being frustrating too. I normally give with mine because I don't like having that conversation. I'm like, if you want to tell people, that's totally fine. I don't care. Most of the time, they're respectful. They're like, that's not my story to tell, that type of thing. But that's wild. I can't believe she just, hey, this
Well,
is personal information of somebody. Let me go tell everybody else.
yeah, and you just got to be careful. This is how I feel, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way. But in this whole, if you want to quote unquote say this day and age, where
Yeah,
like being trans is kind of not the best thing to be at the
not the
moment.
best situation.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I don't hide, but I don't feel the need to always have any kind of conversation about being trans. It
Yeah.
just doesn't come up anymore. People just see me as
Yeah.
a guy,
Yeah.
and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I don't know how many times with my close friends I'll make a joke or something. My best man that's gonna be at my wedding, 9 times out of 10 he'll forget, and then I'll make a joke and he goes, "Shit, dude, that's so funny," because and he'll just die because he completely forgot. He's
Yeah.
like, "I honestly didn't even remember," and that honestly makes him 10 times funnier.
Yeah, my wife
So
does the same thing. I'll tell her a story or I'll show her a memory on Facebook of me looking at a girl, and
yeah,
she'll just be blown away. Yeah, I forgot that you were that before. And she'll kind of be like, I only see you as a man. So,
yeah. Your transformation too is wild. I met you when you had short hair and stuff already, but it's
Yeah,
crazy to see just the process through hormone therapy.
yeah,
What was hormone therapy like for you? I know from mine, I had to go into a different state to get it based off of just my location.
yeah.
But
No.
what were the steps and procedures that you had to go through to get hormone therapy?
Well, it was kind of rough at the beginning because I went to this doctor and she said LGBTQ friendly and she had no problem giving me hormones. Well, I found out she was giving me the lowest dose, lower than what women have in their system.
Interesting.
I didn't know the dosage.
Right, you wouldn't know any better because that's not what you're trained in, right?
Yeah, but I found out somehow. I think somebody was talking about my dosage and ended up basically firing my doctor and getting another one. And it took a long time. I finally found a doctor that would give me the right kind of dosage. I started my process there and I started getting facial hair. It took like a month for my voice to drop. Things were happening pretty quickly. By the time that I had top surgery, I had to see a psychiatrist, a therapist, and then have my primary doctor all sign off on me
Yeah.
being able to have top surgery in the beginning because they wanted to make sure that I was mentally stable enough to have it.
I feel like that's a kind of a misconception that people think with being trans is that you can just walk into any doctor's office and just go chop off your boobs.
Yeah, no, I can't.
It's a big misconception that people are like, oh, well, we shouldn't be allowing all this, or there needs to be regulations in this and everything. There are regulations. I think I had to go through the same thing. You had to have two letters, one from a counselor and then
Yep.
one from your
Yep.
doctor to
Hmm.
ensure your body has handled the hormones okay. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, to make sure you're in a good mental state. Because if you're not in a good mental state, you can have a lot more body
Oh yeah.
dysphoria after top surgery than they did before top surgery.
Well, you can have that for sure because like afterwards, like you're now realizing, okay, I just did this. This has just changed my whole life, and now what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah, and I didn't have a support system.
Built your support system once you moved, right?
Yeah, finally when I came down here.
Sounds like that family kind of just adopted you in, essentially, from what I've grasped.
Yeah, they basically did without any kind of judgment, and it took years though. I didn't start transitioning until 2019, and it took until I got down here about end of 2021, I guess.
Okay,
October.
so
Yeah.
two
So it took
years.
like, yeah. But like that 2 years was super lonely.
Oh, I bet.
Didn't have anybody around me. Didn't know what I was doing. I literally, after top surgery, I literally had to take care of myself because there's no one there to take care of
Yeah.
me.
I remember with mine, and wild that you say that because I had my parents there to be able to take care of me. Even then, I would like to think I could take care of myself, but then I go back and look at it. I don't know if I could have. Just like simple daily tasks of bending over to tie your shoes. I also had some concerns when it came up to with there was like loose fat tissue that had got
Yeah.
stuck and lodged in through some of the drains that I had had. So
Oh
that
man.
was just a whole problem in itself as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, without my support system that I had to do that, I could imagine that would be a lot.
Oh yeah, I had to wake up. Like you're on the pain meds. You have to wake up and feed yourself, change your clothes,
Hmm.
try to drain the tubes. Yeah, it was crazy. Looking back, I'm like, how did I do that by myself? I don't even know.
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way, right?
I had to do it. So I mean, I had to rely on myself to do it. So I mean, it's possible. Anybody can do anything.
Do you feel your top surgery gave you a better mental state?
Yeah, because before I had these foreign objects on my body that I
Right.
hated.
And you're self-conscious of you're binding them all the time, which is also not healthy.
Yeah, that's super unhealthy to do that. So if anybody out there is doing it, you don't because it's not good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, they're much better now. I know it was hard to find binders when I first came out.
oh yeah,
And the ones you did find, they were super uncomfortable. They were itchy. I think before, because I got my surgery, when was it, 2019, I think, is when I got my top surgery. I remember binders used to be super scratchy, and I wore those all through high school. I mean, I came out in 2015. So, I mean, there was quite a few years there that I had bind between. And I mean, I tried everything from the ace bandages to binders that were super itchy. And then I think by the time of 2019, they finally were like more comfortable,
right,
but it didn't keep your boobs binded. So I was like, what is the point of this? Yes, it's more comfortable, it's a softer fabric. It almost didn't compress enough.
right. And I'm so old. I use duct tape to bind myself.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was very blessed in that on my breast region, so I unfortunately could not. That was one thing that my sisters, I know, they said they were like, "You're so lucky," and of course you're chopping them off, blah 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 blah. They were definitely jealous on that part for a minute. But I had friends that would use KT tape to so that way they could go swimming and that kind of stuff. And yeah, unfortunately they were too big to where
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't have that ability.
Yeah, mine were bigger than I wanted them to be. Where they're pretty noticeable. So yeah, I get that.
You started with hormones and then you had your top surgery about a year later.
Yeah, so I started in 2019, and then about January of 2020, I had top surgery, and basically from there, I just been staying on testosterone. Apparently, the level of testosterone I take now that my doctor gave me is more than a guy going through puberty. So my wife is not
Okay.
a huge fan of it because I act like a guy a lot.
It's funny how your mind almost changes a little bit with the hormones because I noticed that too. One, I became a lot less sensitive. I was very sensitive when I was younger, but I became a lot less sensitive pretty quickly of just, yeah, I don't care. I think your outlook and your mannerisms a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. My wife would explain this. You're acting like a man right now. And I'm like, because sometimes I'm insensitive or I don't realize what I'm saying is wrong. Sometimes it'll come out where it sounds like I don't care, or I come out like a jerk, basically.
I have that kind of mental check myself because I don't know what it is about it. I don't know the science behind it or anything, but I have a feeling it goes back to just the different levels of hormones within your body because your hormones, those regulate everything in your body.
Right. And also because I had a hysterectomy because of a problem that I had, took out all of my female hormones. So now I'm just straight on testosterone.
That was going to be my next question if you had gone through that step or not. I had mine taken out too. So you had your ovaries taken out as well?
Yeah, everything is
Okay.
gone.
Yeah, that was
But
one
yeah.
that I didn't necessarily regret it at the time. But recently I switched jobs and there was like that time frame where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have insurance. I'd never had that scare before. And so when I had that scare, I was like, well, maybe I should have left those in just so I had something, and it wouldn't have been the right one, but it would have been something.
Right.
Have you gone through with bottom surgery or are you thinking of going through with it?
I've thought about it before, but between me and my wife's relationship and how we are together, we came to the conclusion that I don't really need it. I don't need to stand to pee or any of that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
not going to change me mentally if I have something down there or not. So it doesn't really bother me that I'm not going to get it. I'm perfectly good
I feel with some, if that works for you, that works for you. I said it on one of my past episodes. There's nobody that really has to know
as long as
unless you're
business.
going to be having that kind of intimacy there. It doesn't really, it's literally none of their business. Because my
Yeah.
buddy Mark, who I normally do the podcast with, he was just saying, well, why do you have to tell people you're trans? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't have to, but if I
Right.
got in a situation where they found out and say we were on a boat together, that'd be really weird or really awkward if they didn't agree with it. But I do feel like you get to a certain point where you do pass pretty well. I pass pretty well. I mean, I've had people that are like, wait, what? You are? Just like you were saying. And when you get to that point, really, unless it's your partner really is the only person that needs to know that in your doctor. Have you changed doctors since being able to pass well or not?
I'm kind of stuck in the middle right now. I found another doctor, but I haven't had my first appointment yet. So I'm kind of nervous about how that's going to go. But trying to find a doctor that is willing to even do it is really tricky and hard because you got to search them out. I was super blessed with having her as a doctor. So I don't know. Trying to find another one that's going to be as good is just a little scary.
That's valid. I mean, doctor hunting is hard in general.
Yeah.
So when I moved down here to the south, I made sure there was medical in the area that I was going to. And luckily there's a university that my doctor back home had studied at. That's the university that I was moving next to. So she actually was able to give me a lot of information. That helped a lot being able to have kind of like almost a reference, but not really. But my initial doctor didn't know I was trans. Like when I went to my first doctor appointment with him, he didn't know I was trans, even though it was on my paperwork. It was wild. And then I went to an urgent care prior to that. They had no idea I was trans either. And I'm like, do you guys just like not read your patient documents? Like, I filled it out. All right, friends, thanks for listening. You can find us on TikTok at Unfiltered Curiosity. You can catch us on Instagram at unfiltered_curiosity. You can email any questions or topic ideas in at unfilteredcuriosity2@gmail.com. And then you can also listen to us on Spotify, or you can find us on YouTube at Unfiltered Curiosity 20-40. You guys have any questions? You have any topics, anything like that? Please send them in. And then Ezra, thank you for on. I know we hadn't talked in a while, so it was kind of out of the blue. So I appreciate you being able to make it on and share your story and give advice to anybody that is either A, new to being trans, or maybe they're kind of stuck in their pathway. And it was good talking with you.